Okay, we're live on all the platforms. We're live everywhere. All right, let's do this. Let's frickin' do this. Hopefully everything's working. I checked everything. Navy's struggling. Straight frickin' facts. Why is Navy struggling? What happened to Navy? Ooh, I'm already almost out of water. Ruh-roh. Yo, happy Friday. What up, Spot Bean? We got Bran. We've got Spot Bean again. What build am I doing today? Oh, I'm gonna tell you. Yo, what up, Ken? Next PC build, can you do an $850 PC or no? It just depends on what people buy. These are all pre-bought PCs, so I just sell, I sell whatever, people are wanting to get, and then I build it for them. So, unfortunately, unless someone buys one for $850, there's not much I can do. Yo, what's up, Van? Okay, so let's talk about today's build. Had a good night off stream gaming and beers. That sounds great, Navy. Sounds delicious. I was gonna say delectable, and I got messed up halfway through. Okay, so today's build. This is a stream PC for the Gaming Trucker Dad. I think it's his gamer tag, if I remember right. We've got Ryzen 7 7700X. You might recognize that from the last build we did. MSI Pro B650P Wi-Fi. Got a Thermaltake CPU cooler here today. It's gonna be pretty similar to the ID cooling that we did recently, only this has quite a bit more cooling power. Got some Be Quiet fans, RTX 4060, 32 gigs of RAM, bunch of storage. We've got a 750 watt power supply, and then of course we've got our AverMedia Live Gamer 4K capture card. And eventually, Botrix will enter the chat, and you guys will be able to type in !specs to see the specs. You might be able to do that now. I don't know. If I receive random squares of black dots, is that artifacting? If you're seeing them in the same spots all the time, I would guess it's a monitor, like dead pixels. That would probably be my first guess. It could be artifacting, but it could be dead pixels. Same case as last time, believe it or not. We've got the NZXT H5 Flow. So instead of just throwing in a couple of NZXT fans like we did last time for the other customer, we're gonna throw in a couple of these Be Quiet fans up front with these awesome ring RGB, and then we'll stick one on the back for exhaust. So we'll have very pretty RGB in this system. This one actually has a good amount of RGB, unlike the last one. Van, I'm doing good. I just played in a little tournament, like a hide and seek tournament that AIM controllers put on. Chadwick Live invited me to play it with him. I didn't do so well, but we had fun. Hopefully Chad had fun. He sounded like he was getting a little frustrated. I had fun. Yeah, these are great fans. This box is so heavy. I don't know if I can't remember if the fans themselves are pretty heavy, but this is a good few pounds. But yeah, these are great fans. Be Quiet makes really good stuff. I really like all of the stuff that they make, so I'm excited to get to use some more of their stuff. Okay, should we get started with the build? What do you guys think? Should we start? Should we get to it? It's already 4:15. I think we get started. Yo, what up, Arcadia? How we doing? All right, let's do it. Let's get her going here. I'm gonna take everything or a bunch of this stuff off of here for now. Get it out of the way. This is a huge freaking CPU cooler blocks. I can't talk today, y'all. I can't talk today. All right, let's get it going. MSI Pro B650P Wi-Fi motherboard. This motherboard, I think it was only like 170, 180 bucks. It's a great little ATX board. It has all of the things that you would want on it, including the warning hazard, because you don't want to ingest this. still find it hilarious that they have those on here now. Never used to see them. Somebody must have got sued not too long ago because I never used to see those on there. Have you been watching the AMD, Intel, and Google stocks last few days? I have not the last couple of days. I have been watching the Nvidia stock because I did own a bunch of it, and I just sold a bunch off because it got pretty high, and I was in fairly low, and I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna wait and see if it comes back down. I kept a few, but I sold off a good chunk of it. Hey, Botrix entered the chat. If you're on YouTube, you can type in !specs at any point if you want to see what's in this build. I'm sure you guys all know that by now, but in case you didn't. Okay, there we go. Ryzen 7 7700X. So as for the BioShock PC, I think I figured out my FPS issue. GeForce Perform. Oh, yeah. Definitely do not use. I wouldn't use anything GeForce. Like, as far as like, don't use GeForce Experience all the time. Don't use overlays or like the crazy filters through GeForce Experience. Like, don't use any of that. You can use the Nvidia control panel if you want to mess with like your color settings and stuff, but I wouldn't use anything else because it does cause issues in Warzone specifically. Awesome. So yeah, let me know if that doesn't solve your problem, and we can still have me come look at your system. But if that's all it was, then you don't need me. I love seeing people like learn more about their computers too, because like there's so many things that like being a PC owner, like you just kind of have to learn it over time, you know? We all start somewhere, and you just got to keep learning about your system and about PCs in general, and yeah, it can only be beneficial. What's up, Slumped? How we doing? I'm doing pretty good. It's Friday. I got off work early a little bit today so that I could play in that AIM controllers tournament. That was pretty fun. Okay, there we go. 7700X installed that fast. I don't use it normally, so I didn't even think about it being on. Yeah, of course, dude. Of course. Always happy to help. Yeah, I think the AI stuff is gonna go crazy. Any company that gets in on that like the AI computation is gonna do pretty well. Just want to get this stuff out of here, even though I'm not working on the CPU cooler just yet. I think I was thinking I was going to start working on the CPU cooler, but I'm definitely not. So we're going to do these first. Got a 1 terabyte and a 2 terabyte to install here. Get this guy out. You're so high production? I know. I've been doing this for a long time. I've kind of just slowly like built up stuff. So I started out with just like a front-facing camera, and I bought another cheap front-facing camera. Like both of them were just like webcams, and I was just sitting at like this tiny little desk that I had to sit at with my chair because it didn't, you know, move around or anything, and it was really small. And then I eventually bought this camera up here, which is a Sony a6000, and then I ended up buying this one behind me after a while, and then just recently I bought this one, which shoots in like 4K. It definitely, I think, has improved the streams a lot to have the nice cameras and like have my nice setup here. I rent this office space now. I used to have like a small room in my house that I did this out of. It's really nice having more space. But yeah, we've been live streaming PC builds, you know, since 2021. Obviously, you know, sales have gone up and down, and so there are times where we're not streaming as much, but like we've been doing this for a while. And you know, if you're ever interested in a PC, if you happen to be, you know, in the US, Canada, those are the best places to do it, just because you'll get your best bang for your buck. But even outside of that, go to redneckengineer.com. Okay, so I need the extra bits out of here that I threw down here because of how they have that set up. Here's one. The second one's down there. Might be that one too. All right, there we go. Need these little standoffs. What up, Lance? How you doing? All right, let's get this little standoff in here. Hopefully this is a small enough bit. Yeah, it's small enough, driver. Okay, don't want to torque that down too much. There we go. Do I deliver across the Pacific? I can, it's just gonna cost a lot. It's not that I can't do it, it's just that like shipping prices are gonna be pretty high. That's really the only downside. Whereabouts on the other side of the Pacific are you? It's less about my capabilities and it's more about your bang for the buck, you know? Japan, yeah, I mean, I can definitely ship there, but it's just one of those things like you're gonna pay import taxes and you're gonna have to pay a lot in shipping to the point where it's, as much as I want the sale, you know, I don't want you guys to have to spend a bunch of extra money just to buy a PC, you know? Come on. Can I get this started with my hand? Maybe we'll use this to start it too. Okay, got that there. So we got our 1 terabyte installed already. Now we got a secondary 2 terabyte for all of the recordings and other good stuff that people are doing with their stream PCs. Definitely going to be the next biggest PC guy. I can feel it. Oh, shoot. Let's manifest that, you guys. Let's manifest that. This is the first stream I've got at the start of. Well, I'm glad you're here, Van. How are you doing today? I definitely enjoy it. And it's nice that, like, you know, this is not my, right now, this is not my, like, main gig. Like, I still work full-time, so, you know, the ups and downs of business, you know, I can kind of ride those and still be okay and still like keep my business going, even when there's slow times. Okay, so 3 terabytes of storage. We got our 7700X. I think it's time to get this bad boy in here. Okay. Good, your build comes in next week. Let's go. Remind me what you put in there. LTT screwdriver detected. That's right. Been rocking that thing for a while. Okay. This is just Intel. Cool. AMD. Looks like we're gonna have some standoffs, and then we're just gonna snag those. Okay. It's 2011. It says Intel. Here's my AMD. Oh no, AMD's using the standard brackets. Let's freaking go. Love that for us. Love that for us. How do these work though? I've never used this thermal take, or thermal take cooler. Okay, so we're just gonna bolt this into this like that. And then that's gonna snap right on. Let's just check. So these are gonna go outwards, I think. Can verify that real quick. I'm sure somewhere there's documentation in here, maybe not. Did I throw it away already? Did I throw it down here? Oh, I sure did. Sure did. Here we go. Got a 5500 and a 70 RTX. An RTX 7600? You mean an RX 7600? Okay. AMD. Where you at, bro? Do they not even provide information on AMD? That's crazy. Crazy. Look at that. There's literally, oh wait, AMD installation, there you go. Okay, it is outwards. Cool, that's all I needed to know. All the rest of this stuff, don't need it. Don't need that, don't need that, don't need that, don't need that. I'm not gonna use that. We're gonna use some good stuff we have. Got some cables there. We're gonna need those for the fans. We save these in case we have other little bits that need a bag. And there we go. Easy peasy. Unfortunately, it has the opposite effect on me. Good luck. Wait, what has the opposite effect on you? Sorry, I don't even remember what I said. Okay, get this guy started. Oh, do you cross thread on me? No, there we go. Okay. All right, we're gonna make sure we take this off because I've forgotten that before. You're bad? No, you're good. Just want to make sure you weren't trying to mess with me. All right, ooh, let's use this Noctua. We've got some Noctua NT-H1, which is designed for Noctua air coolers. So, you know, got an air cooler here. Let's use some of this. I think this thing is almost empty. Used it on a few builds already. Is there a place to get those custom GPU backplates? The place I've gotten them before is called V1 Tech. V1 Tech. I've bought those for customers before. Ooh, that's real thin. Feels real thin and goopy. Seems a little watery. Don't love that. I think it'll be okay though. Better watery than dry, right? And don't worry, we'll do some CPU cooler tests afterwards, and if it's running a little hot or whatever, we'll just replace the thermal paste. That's easy. That's easy. Okay. There we go. Make sure that's sitting the right way up. And all we gotta do, because they use the AMD brackets, we just gotta slide that one over, slide that one over. There we go. Now we just tighten them down. LTT. Oh, you're not a big fan of LTT? Or just not a fan of the LTT screwdriver? I'm a big fan of the LTT screwdriver. I really like it. I do enjoy LTT. Like they make good videos. You know, they're not like, I would say a lot of their stuff is definitely more entertainment value than like super tech nerdy value most of the time, but I enjoy watching them. Yo, Westfield coming in with a $4.99 super chat. Dude, thank you so much. Also, John coming in with a sub on YouTube. Appreciate that. LTT videos are definitely fun to watch. I agree. All right, there you go. Dude, that is a honking cooler. You might not have the perspective from there, but look at that. That is big old boy. That's just barely gonna fit, I feel like. I mean, it said it was gonna fit. Okay, let's get this out of here. Get this guy out of here too. Super woo, super woo woo. All right. These guys. All right, and then let's figure out, we need to get this RGB cable out here. So we're gonna have to connect that into something. I'm gonna connect it into something. All right. Are these all daisy chained RGB? Yeah, they are. Okay. So, what we're gonna have to do here, I think before we connect in this middle fan, what I'm gonna do, if I can get off there. Just kidding, I'm just overreacting. What's the cooler called? It's a Thermaltake Astria, A-S-T-R-I-A, 600 from Thermaltake. Thermaltake makes a lot of different stuff for PCs, and most of their stuff is pretty solid. So I'm excited to try this one out. This is probably a oversized, okay, I know it is definitely an oversized cooler for this Ryzen 7, but you know, it never hurts to have overpowered cooling, you know? You can never have too much cooling. Oh, did I not? Come on. Why do you have to hide from me down there? There we go. Got it. Okay. So that's connected in. This guy will get connected into RGB over there. And then I want this orientation like that. Then we'll grab a couple of these. Like so. That heatsink is built different. That's right, bro. He's a chonky boy. All right. Oh, don't do that. Don't come out. Don't come out. All right, there we go. So now we're just gonna slide this guy right on down. Minimal scraping and scratching. All right, there we go, just like that. Boom, there we go. Get you nice and clean looking. Oh, did I bias that up higher on one side than the other? Kind of feels like I did. Let's make sure that feels even. There we go. How about that? That looks better. Okay. Now, next fan. You're a noob, sorry, getting ready to build your first PC. Hey, no question is a dumb question in here. Unless you ask it 12 times, you're totally fine. That's what we're here for. Getting ready to build your first PC. Let's go. Let's talk specs. What you got? What you got going on? Okay, so there's fan number 2. We're gonna do the same sort of thing here. Stick it in like that. Do these fans daisy chain? Or is that what this is for? Okay, that's what that's for. Okay. Yeah, LTT videos are fun to watch. There is no denying that. Oh, come on. There we go. And then we're gonna stick you right like there. Okay, let's get the one side on. Make sure it's nice and even. There we go. Second side on. Look at that. Look at that. That is blocking our RAM. That's in the way of our RAM. All right, so I guess let's install our RAM. I looked at that earlier and I was like, yeah, that's gonna be fine. And then I forgot about the RAM. How do you know which way the fans should be facing? So 98% of fans blow from, so they pull in from this side. So the side where you see like the pretty side of the fan, they go from this way through here. So some manufacturers are nice and they'll put like an indicator. Oh, here you go. Here you go. Some manufacturers are really nice and they'll put an indicator right there. I don't know if you guys can see that in your screen, but you'll see there's an arrow pointing this way and an arrow pointing this way, which means it's going to spin this way, like that. It's gonna spin this way and it's gonna push air this way. Not all manufacturers do that. So you just kind of have to know that. And then there's a handful of fan blades out there that are reverse. Usually they're labeled as reverse fans when you buy them and on the box. But there's a handful that aren't like that, so you just gotta be careful. But that's basically how all of them are set up. Okay, 32 gigs of RAM, courtesy of Team Group. And yeah, we're gonna fit there too. We're not gonna have any clearance issues, I don't think, with our fan. We can always bias it up a little bit if we need to, but I think we'll be okay. Okay, there's our RGB fan, or RAM, which will be completely hidden by this front fan, but that's okay. Yep, so we're gonna have to bias this, or biasing this up a little bit. Okay, so we got just a little bit of clearance down there. And then I think what I'll do is I'm gonna move this other fan up so that it matches the same height. It's gonna be somewhere around there. We're not gonna really lose any cooling performance there with that, because it's still covering basically all the fins. And then now all we gotta do is we've got these two fan cables coming out of here and this RGB cable coming out of here. And they give us an extension for the RGB cable, but there's an RGB header literally right here. So I think rather than using an extender, we're just gonna plug that guy right in there. And then we can kind of stick them down there. Then we've got these two fan cables. You're about to go 130 in a school zone? Oh my God, please don't. That sounds dangerous. That sounds like a bad idea. Is it possible to modify RAM chips on a GPU? No. It is not. I mean, yeah, no. I'm not gonna be able to do that. Okay, so now we got this sticking in there, and we'll just stick this to the back side of the case and tie it down. I might even zip tie this right now so that we can make it look nice and clean easily before we get to the back side of or before we get it into the case. Yeah, you're welcome. I'm always happy to answer questions, you guys. Like I say, there's not a lot of dumb questions out there. Okay, there's probably a few, but like, I've yet to hear one anytime recently, so don't feel bad asking questions. Ask away. Worst case scenario, I'll just giggle a little bit and then answer it, okay? Okay, there we go. That's gonna look nice and clean when we get it in to the PC case. Clip those now while we have really easy access to them. Boom. All right, there is everything that goes on the motherboard before we put it in the case. You should try to build a PC for under $20. I don't know that I could build a PC for under $20. Maybe like a couple $100. Okay, all right, let's stick this over here. 3D, sorry. Planning on building, to start off, a Ryzen 7 7800X 3D paired with a 4070 Ti Super. That's a great setup. Like that's bang on. Haven't decided what motherboard to acquire yet. Any suggestions are great. For a 7800X 3D, you definitely want to spend a little bit of money. I would say something akin to an Asus TUF B650 or X670E would be a great spot to go. You could also go with like an MSI Mag B650 or X670E. Those are both going to be really solid options. You could get a full ATX if you're just planning on gaming and stuff with it and you don't need to add anything to it in the future. You could go with a micro ATX if you want to do like a smaller form factor. But either of those will be really good. If you want to maybe get a little more bang for your buck, sometimes you can find ASRock B650s or X670Es for a little bit cheaper. But yeah, and they make good stuff too. They're made by the same people who make the Asus stuff. So those would be my suggestions. Would the 4070 Ti Super and a 14700K be enough for a solid single PC stream? You mean like to game and stream from it? Anto, thank you for the sub. At a couple of decimal points. Yeah. Give me like $200 at least. I don't think I could do it for 20. All right. Let's swap over to this for a minute. So this is our case. Excuse me, the NZXT H5 Flow. Yeah, of course, Anthony. Come on, go. Get that glass panel off the side. Get this rear panel off as well. Westfield, how we doing today? Okay, so there's all that. I'm gonna take this front panel off too. There we go. All right. So while we have this, lots of access and stuff, I'm gonna install our case fans and then we'll get our motherboard in there. So, case fans. Got a couple of intake fans to put in up here, and then we're gonna swap out this exhaust fan. I'm actually gonna swap to this for a minute while we work on that. There we go. Yeah. So 4070 Ti Super and a 14700K more than capable of gaming and streaming at the same time. Just make sure you have at least 32 gigs of RAM for that. You might potentially even want more depending on how much stuff you have going on your stream, but 32 gigs should be good enough. Goes back in there. Set this one aside for a minute. Doing good, glad to hear that. Okay, there's all of our bolts. And we've got our little RGB hub here. These go with the Be Quiet fans. They're just simple 3-pin RGB headers that you can plug any kind of RGB stuff into if you want. Nothing crazy. So you technically don't actually have to use that if you don't want to, but we are going to use it. Okay, get these bolts out here. What's everybody up to on this lovely, lovely Friday evening? Okay. All right. And then the way I want to set this up is with, I'm going to put these fans on the front side of this. That way, if he ever adds like a bigger GPU or something in here, these guys won't be in the way. They're going to be in this nice little tray that NZXT very kindly made for us. Again, it's going to push through this way, so I'm going to point that to the back. Stick it right through that little guy. Yeah, they even designed these fans with the daisy chain capability on the RGB, so we really don't even need to use that RGB hub. It's really just more so if you need it. You don't have to use it though. Okay, here we go. Get that fan in there. Get that started. By the way, not sure if you know, but YouTube is popping up commercials every 8 minutes or so. Is it really that often? I didn't think balanced was gonna be that high. I might have to put it on minimal if it's that bad. Is everyone experiencing the same thing on the YouTube horizontal? Obviously, like I make a little bit of money off of that, but if it's that consistent, I want to turn it down. I don't know if I can turn it down midstream. I can check. That's a lot. Like that's more than I want. You're so pretty. Oh, what's up, Heinrich? Happy Friday evening. Hope you're having a good night so far. I mean, so far being like it's the middle of the night for you, but okay. That is locked in place. Every 8 minutes is wild though. That's way too often. Yeah, you can skip through them. Like, don't feel like you need to sit there and watch the whole commercial. But if it's that often, that's too much. I didn't think that the balanced would be that high. Because there's 3 options that you have for setting your YouTube advertisements, and there's minimal, there's balanced, and there's aggressive. And I was like, I figured balanced would be balanced, right? Like, I assumed that would be pretty balanced, but every 8 minutes feels like way more than balanced. Hope you had a good birthday. I did. I had a good birthday. Had some pizza for dinner with the fam. I got to go golfing. It was great. People paid, dropped some subs while we were golfing. So, even though I paid with my personal account, not my business account, we still covered my golf round, which is nice. Can you explain updating BIOS and installing Windows a little bit? For sure. Like, you mean like the process of it? Or like why you would do it? The process, for sure. So the BIOS is pretty straightforward. When you first turn on your computer, since you're talking about building a new one, right? When you first power up your computer, Windows is obviously not installed on your system from the get-go. And so it'll automatically jump you right into the BIOS. Then all you have to do is you literally search your motherboard model. So like on this one, it'd be just go into Google and search MSI Pro B650 Wi-Fi, B650p Wi-Fi, search that model, and it'll take you right to the web page for that specific motherboard. Go to the support tab, find the newest BIOS, download it, put it on a flash drive. This is the flash drive I use for all my BIOS files. And then you just plug it into the motherboard. There usually is a BIOS, there's like one that's specific that they want you to use for the BIOS. So you just plug it into that, and then there will be a tool for updating the BIOS. Like within the BIOS, you just have to navigate to it and update it. The biggest thing when you're updating your BIOS is to make sure that you don't interrupt your power at any point. So you don't want to accidentally turn it off or like bump, you know, if you have it plugged into like a power strip, like make sure you don't bump that, because if your PC somehow gets shut down during a BIOS flash, you will break your motherboard and have to get a new one. Windows installation is kind of similar. Like you just download installation media onto a USB drive and then stick it into your PC, and then when you boot it up, it'll recognize that there is a bootable device and it will start the installation process. I have an entire video on how to install Windows 11 on YouTube, so you know, go ahead and give that a look-see, and it'll walk you through every single step of how to install Windows. And I think on there I might even go through updating the BIOS, but if not, I definitely have videos on my channel on how to update your BIOS too. 4060 Ti or 4060 Ti 12 gig. If you're just gaming, the standard 4060 Ti is fine. If you're doing stuff where you need more VRAM, like if maybe you want to play at like 4K, or if you want to you know, do a lot of editing or anything crazy or anything like really graphically intense, like 3D modeling or animations and stuff, it might be nice to have the extra VRAM. But you don't necessarily need it. It definitely costs more, so. Okay, so there's those fans in. Let's get our exhaust fan in now. You're new here, what's up? Tactical, how you doing? Looking awesome? Yeah. I'll just get more RAM and skip the capture card for now. Yeah, do it. How much RAM do you have right now, Arcadia? Do you have a DDR4? Do you have DDR4 in your system right now? What's the best way you know how big of a UPS you need? Yeah, it should be based on just like I usually just base it on like the size of power supply I have. It's kind of the simplest way to do it. Ghost, you said you have DDR5? Let's go. DDR5 is the way to go, so. Okay, yeah, if it's got DDR5, it's already got 32 gigs at least. So I would just leave it at that and see how it goes. If you feel like you need more, then I would suggest buying a 48 gig kit or a 64 gig kit, because you don't want to try and use 4 DIMMs of DDR5. It doesn't work properly at full speed. As a system builder, how do you install Windows without requiring that Microsoft account step? So if you're using Windows 11 Pro, you just, when you get to that very first page where Windows is like installed and like you would start like setting up your languages and all that sort of stuff, you hit Shift F10 and then you type in OOBE backslash or forward slash, I can't remember what it's called, bypass NRO, and then it'll restart, and then it will allow you to go through the setup process with a local Windows account. Easy peasy. I don't think you can do that on Windows 11 Home, but you can definitely do it on Windows 11 Pro. Okay, so here's all of our RGB stuff. We should have one more RGB down here at the bottom. I don't know if this is gonna reach far enough to be able to do that. No, I think we are gonna have to use, I'm gonna stick that, this guy right here. Just like that. We'll see. Yeah, I think that'll work. It might be a little thick. This might be a little too thick, so we might have to take this guy off. This would be if you wanted to add a couple of 2.5-inch SATA SSD drives, but we're not gonna be doing that. So we'll just stick this here like that, and we'll route our RGB cables to it. RGB cable out of this, and we are good to go. We might as well do that right now. I don't see why not. How many frames are you supposed to have for playing games? Kind of depends. If you're playing like an RPG type game, if you have above 60, you're usually in good shape. If you're playing a game like Warzone or something, like some sort of first-person shooter, I would say more than 100 is ideal. Okay, so those bevels are kind of in the way, so we're gonna have to do it this direction, like that. Random question, is factory setting a computer safe if it's not running properly? Yes, it is safe. I mean, you're gonna lose all your data if you have any data stored on there, but as far as like, it's not gonna hurt the computer. If you're having issues and you haven't tried like updating your BIOS and stuff, then I would do that. Also, a good thing to do is to, rather than reset Windows, is do like a fresh Windows install. So like with a USB stick, fully reinstall Windows. I would do that over just resetting it. That way you like legitimately start fresh with like a new, uncorrupted Windows install, you know? All right, let's get our RGB connected in here. There's one. Did that go in? Doesn't feel like it's actually in there. There it is. Okay, it snapped into place there. Okay. All right, and then we've got this guy. It's gonna have to go in down to the motherboard. Oh, we don't have one there. We have one there. It's not gonna reach that. At least not if it goes straight down. We have some extras up here I could use. So I think we'll actually run this guy to the side. This guy's gonna get run over here, like that. Okay. Let's just get our motherboard in before I try and do any more here. Okay, swap back to there, swap back to there. Look at that. Good to go. If I compliment my HDD, will it load faster? You know, it never hurts. It never hurts. Ghost in the machine, right? Hello, live? Yes, I'm live. i5 4th gen and a 1050. Is that okay for gaming and streaming? No. This is definitely not gonna be capable of gaming and streaming, unless you're playing like mobile games maybe. So just download Windows on a USB, yes. That's what I would do. Ran into a problem where my PC only restarts itself when I launch Warzone. Oh, geez. Yeah, Warzone is like the least well-optimized game, it feels like, for PC. Got our thing there, and then I'm gonna be a little bit tight in here, so I'm gonna actually put my CPU power in right now too, my power cable. It's gonna look real funky. We're gonna do it. You got a commercial at 347 and now at 354. Jeez, that's crazy. That's too much. It's too much. Does that happen on the vertical stream too? Like, are commercials that often on the vertical stream? Let me look. Let me see if this is something I can actually adjust like on the fly. I might be able to. One sec. Edit. Monetization. Oh, I can. Save. Boom. Are you guys on the vertical stream getting a lot of ads or no? It was easy, I did it already. That fast. Okay, we're running out of space on our thing up here. It's okay. Just need this box. Box full of many cables. How many frames? I already read that, sorry. Blacked out, that's easy. I think I'm building a PC for about $1,500. What should I get? 4060 Ti. Are you gonna build it yourself? Because I feel like you can get better than a 4060 Ti if you build it yourself. I would say like a 4070 Super. And if you're just gaming on it, you could get like an i5 or a Ryzen 5 and be perfect for gaming. I think with that budget, you could get a 4070 Super easily, $600. Okay, now we're gonna put this in the case for real, okay? There we go. Put in our little locator spot there. All right, get that out of the way. This back out of the way. There we go. Okay, now we just need our bolts out of here. Yeah, if you build it yourself, I'm trying to remember. So 7800X 3D right now is about $400. 4070 Super is about $600, so you're about $1,000 in there. Good power supply, about $120, so you're at $1150, we'll call it. About another $100 for RAM, so $1250. Good motherboard, call it roughly $200, $1450, and then you still need a case and things. So I would say, I personally would go with like a 7600X. You'll still get really good FPS out of it, and it's only like 200-ish bucks. And then that will give you the space you need to get a 4070 Super or 4070, a decent case, and the CPU cooler. That's just my suggestion. Obviously, those numbers, I don't really take into account taxes and shipping costs. So, you know, that number is of swag for sure, but I think that would be a pretty good system. 7600X, 4070 or 4070 Super, and then, yeah, all the other good stuff. What graphics card would you recommend for gaming and streaming? Of course, with little money. What do you mean? What constitutes little money? What are we talking here? Like 4060 Ti if you're talking modern, new. 7800 XT if you go AMD, you're talking modern, new. If you want to like find something on the used market, maybe like a 3070 or a 3060 Ti. Like you're not gonna have super incredible FPS. Like you'll want to play at 1080p, but like both of those will work too. Am I playing Warzone tonight? I am. We're gonna be playing with Mr. Rytek, and then I think Goofy's gonna join us. Do I have any thoughts on Arrow Lake? I don't really know. I don't know much about it. I haven't heard a ton of like information about it. It is a bummer that they're already going away from LGA 1700. I mean, I guess we technically got like 2.5 generations out of that, but still, like a new motherboard socket already. It's kind of crazy. AMD does such a good job of not requiring a new socket every 2 years. I just don't know that they'll be able to beat out AMD in gaming, you know? Like, they've been going with this like idea of just throwing in millions of efficiency cores, and it just, you know, it just seems kind of useless. Like, it's nice if you're gaming and streaming on one system to have all the efficiency cores to run everything else, and then the performance cores run your game. But for the average person, I don't know. All right, that's definitely in there. Let's swap to this guy. Ooh. Get back on there. Sleep watching me? Oh shoot. Sounds like a good time. What about the legendary RX 570? I would say the 580 is probably still capable of gaming and streaming. I know it's going to be tough because I have a buddy who was using that to try and game and stream Warzone on it, and he was just barely eking out like 60 FPS. Granted, he didn't have an incredible CPU, but if you're going that budget on like a GPU and that's what you're adding to, then I would guess that your CPU is also probably not super high end, right? Okay, got that in there. Let's stick this in our system fan header right there. Okay. Just gonna stick all these guys to the back of the case for now. And for the rest of time. Okay. Like that. Okay, all that stuff's in. Let's get the rest of our RGB stuff connected in from these intake fans. Okay, here we go. There we go. Can go like back behind these. Did I move? Oh shoot, I forgot to switch the vertical stream. Sorry. There you go. Run this guy to the back. It's gonna go through here. Over here. And in that slot right here. Okay, there's that. So that guy is gonna be nice and tucked in over here. We'll make that look a little nicer once we get everything else in. This guy is gonna do something similar, but down the bottom part of the case here. This guy right here. Run that to right here. Come on. Okay. So that's all nice and plugged in. I'm gonna throw a zip tie on that just to make it look a little clean. About $600. You have $600 to spend just on a GPU or on like system upgrades overall? So if you have $600, you can get a much nicer GPU than that. But if that's for like whole system stuff, then I get it. Could I still get a PCIe Gen 4 2TB SSD? What do you mean, can you still, like, are they still available? Yeah, they're still available for sure. Sorry, what clip recording software is least hindering to PC performance in regards to single PC gaming and streaming? I would use OBS Studio. You can use the replay buffer if you can. The better way to do it is to just do like an actual like running recording and then set up a hotkey to like stop and start it, so like it stops and saves the current recording, and then you can click it again to start the next recording. That's usually what I suggest to people who are single PC streaming. unless you have like a higher end system. I mean, you have a higher end system, but you know, if you're concerned with performance or running out of RAM, that's what I would do. Oh, okay, so $600 in that budget, I mean, you're looking at a 4070 Super or a 4070. And that's more than capable of gaming and streaming. Like that's, you can game and stream in 1440p. Or 4K, depending on the game. Okay, there's our front panel connector. All right, we've got all that RGB stuff in. Let's get these front fans connected into their headers now. So we've got a header here, and another one up above. Which fan is this? This is the top fan? Okay, let's go to the top header then. Ugh, I can't see, where am I going? There we go. Okay, got that. That's gonna come right back over to here. Okay, bottom fan. Gonna run down to this bottom slot here. Oh, I just realized we're doing this entire build without Lazy Susan. No? All right. One's in chat if we should get Lazy Susan out for the rest of this build. What do you guys think? Oh, I could have used that on that. Oh well, it's fine. Oh my gosh, chill. You don't need to write that 4 times or 10 times. 12700K with the Gigabyte Z790. Is that okay? I mean, yeah, there's nothing wrong with it. It's a solid CPU and motherboard. Okay, RGB slot is down here. Okay, got that in. All right, we still have a handful of things in here. You have a question? Ask away. For RAM, should I pair 2 times 32 gigs? You need to do 2 times 32. If you do 4 DIMMs in a DDR5 system, you won't be able to run it at its rated speed. Yeah, Musa, go ahead and ask your question. All right, you guys think I should get Lazy Susan out? All right, let's do it. Some people have no idea who Lazy Susan is, and that's okay. You're about to find out. Lazy Susan it's not even a real name. It's literally just what it's called. It's called a Lazy Susan. Alrighty. On these little builds, I kind of forget about it sometimes because it's not that heavy. You recommend a 7600X with a 7900 GRE? That sounds like a great pairing. Especially for the budget of those two components. That sounds like a really good pairing. Okay, let's get that out of here. All right, USB 3. Where are you? He's over there. Okay. Here's our USB 3, USB 3.2, aka USB-C. I know it looks a little bit like a cluster in the back right now, you guys, but it's gonna get better. It's gonna get better. That's a PC go-round. What's the model of this case? This is the NZXT H5 Flow. You can type in !specs, S-P-E-C-S, in the chat if you want to see all of the specs, or you could go into the description of the video and have it in there as well. Okay, and then should have one more fan header down at the bottom, maybe not. Have one up high. I do have one up high. I'm gonna steal this one then. We're gonna bring this one back up here. I'm gonna run it up to the top. I have one more fan to plug in. I kind of forgot about it. The fan for the GPU. There we go. Let's get that up there. All right, GPU fan, we're gonna actually utilize this bottom slot for that instead. So this case comes with just the fan on the bottom and an exhaust fan. We replaced the exhaust fan and then we added 2 intake fans. So now we have 3 intakes, technically just 1 exhaust, but we've got a bunch of exhaust area up here too. So airflow in this system should be real nice. Okay, everything that's gonna be up here is connected now. So let's get some zip ties going up here, tighten this all up. Let's get this actually tightened down here first. Okay. Marvin coming in with a sub, appreciate that. Why does everyone suggest AMD CPU while they self they have Intels? AMD CPUs for gaming right now are just really good. Like, it's hard to argue that they're just, like, price to performance, they're just really, really good. And Intel's had a bunch of issues recently with their microcode and stuff causing, like, literally permanent damage to their CPUs. And so I think people are a little bit skittish about Intel CPUs at the moment. Okay, there's all that. That's looking a lot better up there. This stuff we can run up. So let's get some cable ties. And we'll just use the Seasonic ones. Like the i7s and i9s especially have literally just been bricking themselves under warranty and everything. It's crazy. 1200K, is it okay for programming? Should be. I'm not a programmer, so I don't really know. Okay, you don't need to write it 12 times. Relax. You can write your message one time and I will read it. Stop spamming. If you spam, I will put you in timeout. Okay. This is coming together pretty nicely over here. Brand says, isn't Intel also criticized for Intel ME? It's a dodgy component. Yeah, right now it's having some issues. The same thing, but if the American agencies need to be removed, this is a lot about possible security. Yeah. I will put you in timeout. Yeah, I will. I am doing my best to read every comment. So yeah, just put it in once, and if you don't see me respond in like several minutes, then put it in again, but should be okay here. Chat's not moving so fast that I can't mostly keep up with it, you know? Okay, I might be going a little wild with these cable ties, but like I really want it to look nice, you know? Just want it to look nice, okay? All right, there's all that. That's all buttoned up. At this point, let's get our power supply and power cables out. We're pretty much at that point. So, motherboard power, check. GPU power, check. That's all we need from that bag. here. I need a SATA power. Just one. Just one SATA power. There we go. That one just has 2 on it. Perfect. And that's it. That is all the stuff we need. Let's get our power supply out. Oh my gosh, you guys, my knee is killing me lately. I have no idea what I did to it. Maybe it's just being in my 30s. But it hurts. It hurts us. I did and still didn't get an answer. No, like you can, yeah, you can put it in again. Oh, sorry, I didn't even see yours. Okay, Anthony. Do I need a separate computer to download the necessary software into a USB for BIOS update? Yes, you do. You need access to some other computer for sure. Yeah, no, like, I'm not talking to you, Anthony. I was just talking to Saja, who was, like, instantly putting his comment in several times. But he's good. We're good now. He understands. I don't want to put anybody in timeout. I definitely don't want to ban anybody for something that dumb. It's just something that, like, I'll bring it up, and then we'll be good, and we won't need to bring it up again, you know? We'll all be happy, and we'll all just hang out. We're all probably adults here. I don't know. Maybe not. We're all people here. All right, get my stickers off here. Thank you, dude. I appreciate that. Yeah, what up, Grandpa? How we doing, dude? Have you had a build after assembly, it doesn't boot to Windows? I've had that happen once or twice where it wouldn't install Windows, but it usually was due to like dead on arrival RAM. I haven't really had it happen with any other, like anything else besides RAM coming in dead. And that's, you know, it's an easy fix. And it's usually pretty easy to diagnose. But it would like literally like I would get partway through the install on Windows and then it just craps out and restarts. And that's usually a pretty good sign that your RAM is not working properly. Can I go, bro? I mean, I'm not gonna hold you here, but like if you want to stay and stay up late for me, I mean, I'm not gonna say no. 2:46 in the morning is pretty darn late. So let me just say this. If it were me, I would have been asleep several hours ago. If that gives you any indication of how much I think you should be awake right now. I've been going to sleep well before 11 o'clock most nights because I've been getting up really early. I actually had similar issues, surprisingly, but instead of Windows, it was a game install drive I wanted to use for Steam. It stopped appearing, I took everything out, and it was a Linux format. Oh my gosh, that's crazy. Yeah, that would, that's kind of weird. Your favorite video game of all time? Oh, it's a tough one. Man, I have a few. I would say the Mass Effect series, if I can lump those into one, was one of my favorites. I also absolutely loved Age of Empires 2. I think I'm gonna go with that. I've got a lot of other games that I've really enjoyed and spent a lot of time in, but I don't think any game has ever like just completely enraptured me like Age of Empires 2 has for so many years. All right, man, thank you so much for coming in, Saja. You have a good night, all right? Get some sleep. All right, let's get our RGB hub powered there. Okay, get our motherboard connector up here. Squeeze you in above this without damaging it, hopefully. There we go. Oh, that is tight. That's a big old CPU cooler. if I try to put that in the right way. No, don't separate. Bunghole. Okay, no, stop separating. Sorry, I'm blocking y'all from seeing anything happening right now, but I have to show this power supply cable who's boss. Come on. Come on. Line up for me, please. Come on. There we go. There we go. Okay. That is all plugged in. Let's get this guy in here. Maybe in that little trough if I can. Okay. Okay, got that. Stick this guy in here as well. Just kind of get him in there. We will tighten this guy down in that corner. It's really nice if you plan ahead with your cable management. It really, really helps when you get to this point and your cables aren't just all over the place. Okay, there's that. Okay, GPU power cable. Gonna need to get filtered through here. This guy. Pull it down a little bit. There we go. Okay. All right, GPU time. Let's get our GPU in there, and then we'll stick our capture card in there too after that. GPU, we've got an RTX 4060 from MSI. You might be saying, why would you put a 4060 in a computer? Well, it's not a gaming computer. This is a streaming computer, and the 4060 is perfect for that. What time is it in my country? Well, where I am in the country, it is 5:23 p.m. Battlefield 3 or Call of Duty Ghosts? I never played Battlefield 3. So Call of Duty Ghosts, I guess? I haven't really played Battlefield at all. I think it was, early on it was just for PC, wasn't it? Like it wasn't really on console, I feel like. Just here for the commercials every 8 minutes. Hopefully it toned those down, because I did turn down the monetization, so hopefully it's not quite so crazy. That was wild. Let me know if that makes a difference. I mean, maybe it won't go into effect this stream, and I'll have to do it again next stream, but every 8 minutes is crazy. It's absolutely nuts. Nuts. Okay, get all that off of here. Okay, there you go. Nothing there. Take these guys off. I want this guy. That out of the way. Take out slots 2 and 3. What about Max Payne? I also did not play that game. Building a $2,000 PC this week. Let's go. What you got in it? I want to hear it. I want to hear all the nitty-gritty details. It's a great series. It was revolutionary. I just don't play games enough these days to like pick up new series anymore, you know? Like I don't really play games off stream anymore. It's pretty much just like if you see me playing Warzone on stream, I'm playing video games. If you don't see me playing on stream, then I'm probably not playing video games, you know? Okay. All right, put that in there. How spend money this PC? I think you're asking how much money was this PC? So with my build fee and taxes and everything, it was around $1,800. And that includes like the capture card and stuff, which is obviously a expensive edition that most people would not have. Lenny, share your specs already. Come on, Lenny. You enjoyed Battlefield 4 on Xbox 360? Oh, okay. So they were on Xbox. All right, so we need to use this slot here, which means this guy, for our capture card. $5:30 p.m. Are you kidding me? This is good time for Smart Match. Smart Match, what's that? Yeah, I'm all the way over in the US. PS3 Battlefield 4 is better. Oh, PS versus Xbox. I only ever owned Xboxes growing up. I mean, like, I had an original Nintendo, I had a Nintendo 64. But as far as like Xbox versus PlayStation, I only ever owned Xboxes. And I owned every Xbox up until like this new gen. I haven't played a game after my 8-year-old nephew kicked your ass 10 years ago. Nice. All right, so this is our capture card. Oh, let's get our power cable in here for this guy. Okay, so this is the capture card. This is a 4K capture card. So this will run from his game PC into here, and it'll capture all of his gameplay or anything going on his game PC so that he can stream. PCIe Gen 4 2TB SSD in the $1,500 budget. You can probably do it. There's some Gen 4s out there that are only like $100. I don't know what start match is. What are you talking about? What is start match? Is that a thing? Like, what am I feel like I'm missing something here. All right, there we go. There is our capture card. Boom, done. So, RTX 4060 4K capture card. Get our little zip tie on this cable so it doesn't look so dumb. Because Seasonic didn't give us a cable that doesn't have a whatever you call on it. But Seasonic makes great power supplies, so it doesn't really matter. Okay. Front looks pretty good. Close that up. Okay. Back here, looking slightly less good, but not terrible. Also, the really nice thing about this is we don't have to ship this. The customer for this lives in Idaho, so he's just gonna come pick it up. Okay. We're just gonna wrap this around here. Tighten all that up a little bit. Ready, steady, done. Let's clip off all these zip ties, wherever I put that at. And it's gonna start looking real freaking clean as soon as I do this, you guys. You have no idea. You don't even know. Give me that, give it. There we go. Not too shabby. Could have probably gone up with this. But it's not bad. It's not bad, y'all. All right, put this guy back on. Get that random dog hair off of there. My dog hasn't been in here in weeks. Yet his hair can still be found everywhere. It's just the life of having an Australian Shepherd, I suppose. All right, what do we think of that, chat? There's our, there you go. There's our cable management there. Did you steal the music? I don't know, I don't hear it. You probably did. It's too late now. I'll take it back when I get back off here, but. Where are you that you are only 1 hour ahead? I'm in Idaho. Looking clean? All right, bet. We're closing the back up now. Never to be seen again, hopefully. You know, if everything goes according to plan, obviously. There we go. Nice and clean there. No bulge along the side, which means we did a good job with our cable management. Made sure everything fit inside real well. And then there is the front. Check that out. Look at that. That is a freaking beast. Cable management going crazy. What is a bad card? Yeah, it's a 4060, Devin. MSI 4060. If you type in exclamation point specs, it should give you all the details there. You're here for the cable management. Take the win. All right, bet. What's wrong with the 4060? What are we talking about? You can only pray your first build comes out that clean. It might take you a little bit longer, but you can do it, I believe. My monitor just went black for a second. That was crazy. Looks amazing. Thank you, Bran. How did you and Chad do in the tourney? Not well. We got bodied pretty hard, but we had fun, and I only dev-aired twice in the final game. I literally, like, everything was totally fine. I haven't dev-aired much at all lately. And then in that last game, which was the only game where we were actually playing and not doing the hide and seek one, I dev-aired twice in one game and rejoined both times. It's crazy. Nice rig. Thanks, Bob. Musa, type in exclamation point specs, exclamation point SPECS, or go to the description for the video, and I've got the full specs listed out there. The 4060 is perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with it. Yeah. I mean, it's not bad. Like, it's only $300. Like, I wouldn't go with, if you're building it yourself and you want to spend $300, maybe you can get something used for gaming. But for streaming and for, like, me, I'm selling computers. I'm not going to use used components pretty much ever. It's perfect for a streaming PC. Why not a 4070 for the budget? Because this is a streaming PC, so, like, the extra money that you could have maybe put into like a nicer GPU, you really don't need, because it's just for streaming, it's not gaming. And you have to put that into, like, this capture card. It's a 4K capture card, that's $200. We also put in a bunch of extra storage, which is like $100. So that's kind of where some of it comes in. And obviously, like, I make, like, it's under $2,000 with me making money off it. If you were to build this yourself, it would be cheaper. It would probably be like $1,500 or something, maybe $1,600. I don't see your cable management. I told 10 out of 10, but now it's 0 out of 10. I showed you guys the cable management earlier. You weren't looking. You shipping that out to me next week? Ha! Nice try, Soul Reaper. What would I do if you had a $1,000 budget? If you had a $1,000 budget and you're building it yourself, I would probably go older gen and get like a 5800X 3D, because those are like under $300. And then you can get like a B550 motherboard, 1 terabyte of storage, get yourself a decent cooler. And, you know, if you are set on getting something new like a 4060 Ti or a 7700 XT, you know, maybe you can find something used and save a little bit of money. Why do PC shops always recommend water cooling rather than cooler CPU? You mean like a liquid cooler, like an AIO? Because they're nice, they look good, they tend to be pretty quiet, and they're, in general, for the amount of space they take, they do a little bit better job. Love the cable management, thank you. RGB plus 4060 equals a 4090 Supre. Yeah, exactly. Would a box like this suffice for software development? I don't really know what you need for software development, to be perfectly honest. It probably depends a lot on what kind of software you're making. Have I seen the 5080 and 59 spec leak? I looked at it, like the one from Video Cards, like on their website, kind of briefly. I was mostly just looking at the power delivery. I'm waiting to see until like there's more details from, you know, something more than just a leak, but they seem pretty impressive. Which AIO cooler is better than the new Noctua? You mean like the Big Daddy Noctua? Probably none of them. At that point, like, maybe get custom water cooling. All right, who's ready to see me turn this bad boy on? Software programming is CPU and RAM. Yeah, I wouldn't even think you really need a GPU for the actual programming part, like unless you're doing like game developing or something. All right, I want to see everybody's favorite emoji in the chat before we turn this on. Put your favorite emoji in the chat, and then we'll turn it on, okay? We're gonna dim the lights a little bit here. Give you some ambiance. A little ambiance. All right, I need to see some emojis in the chat before we turn it on. I want to see your favorite emoji. Got the nail painting, love it, love it. Aiden just laughing, great. Oh, my wife coming in with the Reddick Engineer on fire. Soul Reaper with the eyes, great. Got the eagle, we got a ghost. Perfect timing for the ghost, because you know it is, it's spooky season now. Got that in there. What up, Tyler? All right. I would say this thing is more than capable of software development. Okay. I digress. So, Ryzen 7 7700X, 3 terabytes of storage in RTX 4060. We've got a Nvidia Live Gamer 4K. Got the Thermaltake Astria 600, some Be Quiet Lightwing fans, the MSI Pro B650P motherboard, 32 gigs of RAM from Team Group, the NZX TH5 Flow, and a 750 watt power supply from Seasonic. First ever power up. Boom, there it is. Bring these lights down even a little more, so those RGBs really stick out for you. All right, let's get you the full view here. Okay, front view, gorgeous. This nice diffused RGB on all this. Got the rear fan. We've got the RGB from the RAM. And let's look at it from the front. Oh, it's so nice. Look at that. It's so nice. Can you read and tell my name? I think I read Sajad Ser. I don't know how to say it, probably. Specs of GPU is only needed for machine learning or big data in the software development industry. Okay, that makes sense. You know, someone knows what they're doing when they close the box before first boot up. Yeah, because I'm not scared of it not booting up. This is a cool one, man. Why does my one RAM stick just turn red? That's a great question. Software. Makes my PC look like it belongs in retirement? Well, go ahead and buy another one from me, Bran. I mean, that's a nice computer, y'all. That is a nice looking computer. And then once you get the software and stuff hooked up for this, it won't be blinking red anymore, but nothing I can do about that right now. That's just how AverMedia capture cards communicate. What motherboard does this have? This has an MSI Pro B650-P Wi-Fi. What AIO would you use for a $1,500 budget? In the past, I would have said a Deep Cool, but you can't buy those here in the US anymore. Be Quiet makes like a really nice 240 or 360 millimeter AIO for really reasonable price. The thermal, the Team Group AIOs are like $110 to $120. Those are really good quality. Yeah, I'd say those. Saja, I already showed my cable management. You just weren't paying attention. It's not my fault. You can't dock me because you weren't watching. I gave you guys plenty of time to check it out. Makes it worth sitting through 65 commercials. Oh, I can go. I'm pretty sure I can go in and just like click like force commercial too, just for the heck of it. That'd be pretty funny. Richard, what's up? Do you recommend a ROG Strix Z790 motherboards? ROG Strix makes really good motherboards. They really do. They tend to be a little bit more on the expensive side, so if you're not wanting to spend that much money, I wouldn't recommend it. If you want to spend less money but have like the quality of Asus, get Asus Tough. Be there or be square for the cable management. Exactly. It's not my fault. But can it run Crysis? I'm pretty sure it can. Okay. Well, I think that's it. Should you get a 4070 or 4060? If you have the money, get a 4070. You'll be much happier with it for a longer period of time. If you get, here's the problem with getting lower end stuff, even if it's like new and lower end, it's just not going to be as good of performance from it for as long. So like if you get a 4070 now, personally, I think you would be happy with its performance for several years, versus the 4060, I think in a couple years, you're probably going to be like, oh, this kind of sucks. That's just my opinion. Okay. That is all for the PC build stream. Thank you all so much for hanging out. If you haven't yet, make sure you hit that, if you're on the vertical stream, up at the top right, click those 3 dots, and make sure you give the stream a thumbs up. It really helps with the algorithm. And if you haven't yet, make sure you hit that sub button. We're building PCs, we're making content. So yeah, hit that sub button so you can see all the new stuff we're doing. All right. Have a good night, everybody. If you're on Kick, we're gonna be playing some games. All right. So you guys on Kick, stick around. If you want to come over to Kick, kick.com/redneckengineer. All right. All right. Goodbye. 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 Hey, thank you, Bran. Excited to see you in the next one. Yeah, I'll be on Kick. $7,700 RTX 4060, $7,700 XT for sure. Okay, bye. Bye, Sasha.
Bazinga.